I'm ready.
When I was a little fella, I used to ask my mama to tell me about my grandmother. I never had the opportunity to meet her. She used to tell me about her fried chicken and her apple pie, how she sang in the choir and fussed over her choir gown. And so after she passed, I wrote this. This is her story. It's called The Promised Land. Stop it for just a moment. In a place down yonder where the hills roll gently by, stood a little log cabin way back in the woods. Barely down yonder. Barely standing, still smoking since the fire burned out. Now it'd be her home nevermore. You could see the flames burning, rising high above the trees. Folks came from miles all around, crawled through the house on their knees. And I heard Daddy cry out, no, I'll never forget that day. He found her curled up tightly beneath my little bed. In her hands, wrapped in her fingers, she held the Bible to her chest. Then Daddy said, you've done your duty, go home and rest. They sang Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. I remember Mama singing, and how she looked in her choir gown, and so sure of her salvation. I know she's waiting there. Now she's in the angel band, the promised land. Now my time is upon me, and the years roll gently by. I am so sure of her salvation. Now my time is upon me, and the years roll gently by. Daddy's gone there to meet her somewhere in the sky. I picture Mama in heaven cutting chicken up to fry. And I could swear I could smell her apple pie. They sang Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. I remember Mama singing, and how she looked in her choir gown, and so sure of her salvation. I know she's waiting there. Now she's in the angel band, the promised land. The promised land is where we go if we love Jesus. Of this I know. We'll gather round that celestial shore. Won't life be grand in the promised land? We'll gather round that celestial shore. Won't life be grand up there in the promised land? I miss you, Mama.
that celestial
Amen.
shore. Won't life be grand in the promised land? We'll gather round that celestial shore. Won't life be grand up there in the promised land? I miss you, Mama.